Hey everyone, happy Monday. Hope you all had a good weekend. Here's this week's clarification video on the prompt that we're doing right now, this Wonky Rooms. It's a really fun prompt. The word wonky, I'm sure you're all familiar, but the way I want to be clear about how I'm using this: crooked, off-center, askew, lopsided, wobbly, unsteady, unstable. And the reason I'm bringing this up is for the sake of kind of expressionistic, that instability. I mean, there are a lot of different words we could use for that. The wonkiness is kind of a fun word to use, but the distortion, wobbliness, askew, instability is something that you can use to be kind of expressive. And so I shared in class this wonderful set design from this old German expressionist film, a classic film, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Go look it up on YouTube. They have a really good kind of modern soundtrack you can watch. It's about an hour long if you get a chance. We looked at a couple of Edvard Munch paintings. The one on the left, he was about 18. The one on the right, I think he was in his mid 50s. But you can see definitely a difference in that tendency on the left, a little more Dutch inspired and kind of English almost. The rectilinearity, everything fits into kind of a grid, where the one on the right is much more loose, askew, wobbly, and he did that for the sake of an expressionistic desire. Another great artist to check out, Soutine. Wonderful wonkiness, wonderful and very seriously wonky. Not feeling kind of cartoony or distorted in the sense that it's overly playful in that way, or something that might be dismissed as unserious. This is very serious stuff and really fantastic. Soutine. So look out for a few more of his works. And then one of my favorite artists, the artist Elizabeth Cummings. She disregards, for the most part, any kind of rectilinearity in her compositions and really allows her interiors to get very wobbly and wonky. And that's what we're looking for. So here's a quick demo that I did. You are all familiar, I'm sure, with starting a painting or a drawing with a grid of some kind when you're transferring. Well, this is what I would call the wonky grid. So I'm kind of just making this arbitrary grid. It's not meant to correspond with anything in the photograph on the left. And then I'm using that grid as my jumping off point so that all of the objects that are inside the image sort of stretch and bend according to that grid. And then when I take the grid away, I'm left with kind of a pre-wonked, I don't know a good way to say that, ahead of time wonky kind of drawing. And then I can just start filling things in without the normal concerns for proportional accuracy, perspective accuracy. It becomes much more like kind of a fun coloring book in a way, and everything's already weird and wonky. I've overdone it probably slightly in this image just for the sake of the demonstration, which is often what I try to do. So you'll see as I'm getting close to the end of this, I kind of dial back some of that distortion and some of that wonkiness. But it's a really great way to start a painting and start, getting yourself liberated from, particularly when you're using an interior kind of a scene as your reference. It's very tempting to fall into the 90-degree angles, perpendicular, parallel, and all that kind of stuff, which can be great also. We talked about that at length in that resonant rectangles class. But this is sort of the fun opposite side of the coin, that you can allow yourself to get a really good wonky, juggly, jiggly start. I don't know, words are failing me a little bit about what to do with this, but that's kind of the concept, the principle behind this. Wonky Rooms. So good luck, everyone, with that prompt. And I look forward to seeing what you guys can come up with over in the Winslow classroom. Take care, everybody.